So now we know that this is serious business. We want to rise up in this community, the next generation of Nazarenes, and they will take this community by storm. So do we have the blessed person? Anybody found what was under their seats? Nobody? That's it? But look, we have I was going to give it to Granny because Granny will be the best person. So Granny will be presented with her blessings. So this morning, we will take up our tithe and offering this morning. So with our ushers, please come. And while that is taking place, I would just like to welcome a few persons. Andy, just Andy down there, Andy. Where's Andy? Andy, welcome to Santa Cruz Church of the Nazarene. And we have Desmond Lynch. Thank you for being with us. Welcome this morning. We have Nia. Is Nia here? She left. Okay, so we just want to welcome you all to Santa Cruz Church of the Nazarene. And our ushers will come. We have Christine. So welcome Christine to Santa Cruz Church of the Nazarene. And will you please pray for the offering this morning?
Father, Lord, give you thanks again today, Father, knowing that in you, we live, in you, we breathe, in you, we have our being. This morning, God, as we bring our offering, as we bring our tithe, we are asking, Father, that you bless it tremendously, so that we can multiply and do what it has to do, because we are seeking to further your kingdom in this part of the business. Father, we give you thanks today, in Jesus' name. Amen.
So just a quick few announcements while the offering is being taken up. All team leaders and department head leaders, Pastor wants to meet with you on Wednesday the 29th at 7 p.m. It is for the refocus, and it is important and compulsory that you attend this meeting. All department head and team leaders, you know who you are, to be present at Wednesday the 29th, which is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. And do we have any birthdays or anniversaries with us today? No birthdays and no anniversaries, so we are not celebrating anybody this morning? Amen. Amen. And don't forget that our regular Wednesday night Bible study and prayer every Wednesday from 6 we have prayer, and from 7 is our Bible study. And really appreciate it if you will come out and you will learn more, you will get to explore the word of God, and you will start to see things happening. You know, we have to arise and make God take control in our lives, and we can only do that, put on the full armor of God by coming here and being in the word of God. Let us not be like the soldiers out on the battlefield without any ammunition. Come here on a Wednesday night and you will be fully equipped by our senior pastor with full gear and be ready for battle. And we have one announcement, our call Sister Eva, a special announcement. And don't forget that we are looking for teachers for our VBS, teachers and helpers. So anyone who are willing to hesitate their time. Okay, so they said that was not the paper, so you want to still look on their seats. The paper is still outstanding for this blessed person.
The whole sheet of paper. The whole sheet of paper. When you feel it, you will go. Again.
Good morning, church. There will be a program at the CNC, Nazarene, Caribbean Nazarene College up the road. from Wednesday at 7 a.m. in the morning. The evening session begins at 7 p.m. You can come and join the women, one and all, so that you can edify the younger women who are around us today. Thank you. Okay, Friday night prayer meeting that was supposed to be held here. We are now going to join the women on Friday night at CNC. So the prayer meeting we will now work on Friday night to join the women at CNC with our prayer meeting. So we will not have our prayer meeting here. We will be taking parts up here. Thank you very much.
Okay, and our children's shirt, don't forget, it will be 17th of July. That will be the first children's shirt. So don't forget to bring on your children. Tell somebody in the community. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend to bring their children. And our barbecue will be held on the 30th of July. Please support this barbecue. All who remember the last time how it was. And we have our blessed person, Miss Beulah. So congratulations to Miss Beulah. Could you come to be presented? And don't forget our VBS starts on the 8th of August to the 14th. So bring the children, tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Okay, it's from 9 a.m. in the morning. So bring your children, tell a neighbor, tell a friend. Bring the children and they will have fun. So this morning we have a special speaker among us. She's here to talk about your children. And her name is Mrs. Roya William James, a practicing school counselor for the past 5 years, as well as a lecturer at the Caribbean Nazarene College. She has over 20 years experience in the field of education at all levels. So I would like you as a church to put your hands together and welcome our speaker this morning, Mrs. Roya Williams.
Good morning. Technician, let us see if this thing is not over. Nah, this thing ain't gonna work. Okay. Good morning, everyone. You all were introduced to me, right? I am Ms. James. Thank you very much, Doc, for having me here. Superintendent, thank you very much for having me here. I need a favor. I need all the parents in the house to stand. All the parents and guardians, grandma, grandpa, yeah? Why are you watching this? You ain't a parent yet? You soon come. Okay, that's the parents? Yes. And I need all the kiddies to stand also. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna hug the kiddies. So Doc, you gotta get a kiddie to hug. So we're gonna take this out. Oh, good at it. Alright, so Yuri, mommy gonna give you a hug. Come now. I need some hugs. Get a kid to hug. Exactly. It could be anything. Just get somebody to give a hug. Miss Cathy, what kind of thing is that, Miss Cathy? Miss Cathy, get somebody to hug. Please. Yeah? Sometimes the only thing the child needs is a hug. And we don't hug enough. Yeah, Mom? Thank you. Alright, thank you very much for this and have a seat. Okay, I was invited here to talk about child abuse. It's so broad, but I'll try my best to touch on the areas that I see fit and what would be beneficial to the audience. Alright? That's my technician. He left? Okay, you have to go to the next slide, Sheila. Okay, child abuse. So long as little children are allowed to suffer, there is no true love in this world. I'm going to start with this quotation by the brethren by the name of Duncan. It is evident that child abuse is a problem, not only a global problem, but one that affects us here in Trinidad and Tobago. Doc prayed for the kids and what is happening to them. And I saw it very fitting with my presentation because that's exactly what I will be talking about. And our children in Trinidad and Tobago are made to suffer immensely. You did not know I was doing that? The dog, you were under my bed last night or what? The children here are made to suffer too much. And we, the parents, the guardians, stakeholders, the church, we need to do something to help these children. Next slide. It has a lot of transitions, sorry. Okay. What we're going to do today is remembering those who were killed, because a lot of them have gone by the hands of perpetrators in this country. The prevalence, that means how it is in Trinidad and Tobago, the statistics, I will show you some statistics which might make your heart beat, and I will touch on, here's the next one, I will touch on the Children's Act of 2012. So at least you will have the information and you will know exactly what the law states in relation to various areas of child abuse. Next. I told you it has a lot of transitions, so you have to press very quickly so I don't leave you behind. Okay, next slide. Let us remember this little girl. Anybody remember her? Yeah? In June 2009, she's Tricia Henry. And where was she found? Stuffed under a house in Laventille. Next slide. Oh, the famous one. Amy Amamatudo. In May 2006, she was abused, burned with cigarettes, her mouth was injured, and she had multiple internal and external injuries. I'm just bringing you back in time. Yeah, this baby was found in a cesspit up at Baraka St. Joseph on November 2013. The dad reported that the child was kidnapped, but later when they did the investigation, he got arrested because in some controversy he had with the mom, and the child paid for that. Yeah? Mr. Jabari, same thing, November 2013, he was beaten to death. Let's go. Oh, famous one. Daniel Guerrero. February 2011, he was choked and dumped in a river. I think his mommy's boyfriend, who's a police officer, got charged for that. Yeah? We have the next one. He came home and he did not get anything to eat. And the child face paid for that. Yeah? It's too much. This boy, 12, well, when they say things follow you till the end, here's a very sad story. He was placed in a dog kennel by persons who were responsible for taking care of him. Yeah? They removed him from that home and placed him at St. Michael's Boys' Home. You know what happened to him there? He died there. Yeah? Hope was raped and buggered and stabbed by her mom's 28-year-old boyfriend. You remember Hope? Pretty child. Her mom works at Hilo. Her mom went to work and left her in the care of her boyfriend. Yeah? Kiana? Well, we know that one famously. That happened in Maloney on the East-West corridor. Yeah? She was in a barrel in the house for days. Yeah? And we have the young Antoine, who he and his brother, his cousin, they were dragged out by some gunmen and shot 34 times. The gunmen were making an example due to some rift between family. You all need to remember those things. And of course, our boys' home of horror, that's the St. Michael boys. They initiated some investigation into this home because a lot of things against kids are happening in there. And the then Minister of Education, Dr. Gopi Singh, he reported that 2,500 teen pregnancies occur each year. And most of them are for adult men. So that means a lot of persons in our community, and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, they are getting away with statutory rape. And you all in the community know what's going down, and we keep silent while our kids are suffering. And that is not good. Okay, so here is the statistics. Serious crimes committed against children. I went way back to 2007 until the present day, June present day. So if you look at the year, 2007, we had 794, for those who are not seeing, okay? 2008, we had 736. 2009, we had 816. 2010, we had 780. 2011, we had 750. 2012, 885. 2013, 765, 2014, 829, 2015, 625, and to date, we have only 16. But what I need to bring to your attention is the statistics here are only the cases that have been reported. We have countless cases that have not been reported. And you supposed to be the eyes and the ears of those cases. Yeah? The Children's Authority, that's the institution who were commissioned last year to safeguard the interest of children in Trinidad and Tobago. And May 2016, May 6, 2016, the director of this institution, she gave those statistics. Yeah? So we have 5,500 sexual abuse, neglect, physical abuse, lack of care and guardianship cases that has been reported over the past 12 months. We're talking 1 year, 5,500 cases. From May 2015 to February 2016, the authority initially stated that there was only 458 cases reported. However, between February this year and May 5th of this year, we have an additional 1,342 cases. Do the math, and you could actually figure out how those cases are coming. They are coming fast and furious. 1,000 of the cases that has been reported, 142 children were in relationships with adult men. Yeah? And of that, 142, 61 of them have gotten pregnant or have had children for these adult men. And she stated in her presentation to the media that the community knows exactly what is going on and they condone such behaviors. They turn a blind eye, they don't say anything. But you have to remember, the kids in our society are the most vulnerable ones. Yeah? They can't take care of themselves. You, the adults, are the one entrusted to take care of them. And we fall short. And we have to ask God forgiveness for that because we know what's going on and we do nothing. Yeah? Now, in order for you to understand what the presentation is all about, there is something that you need to understand, and it's on there. There is something called the Convention of the Rights of the Child. That was an international treaty that was signed by a lot of countries under the Act of the United Nations that sets out the basic rights, 45 fundamental basic rights of children. And Trinidad and Tobago is a signatory to this convention. And if you are a signatory to this convention, what it means that your government, you are obligated as a government to put things in place to support parents and to safeguard your children. And from the looks of things, we ain't doing a pretty good job down here. Okay? We have things in place, however, they have not been executed properly. That is the problem. We got the Children Act of 2012. Yeah? However, things are just not adding up. Making a report, let's not even go there. Because even as an officer in the congregation, I might get shot. But when you have to make a report, there are certain things, certain processes that you have to follow. And those processes are not being followed. Big problem. So this treaty was adopted by the United Nations in 1989 and it was ratified in December of 9, so long ago. So Trinidad and Tobago, we need to get our act together. We have the Children's Authority. They're doing their thing, however, certain things that the children, there are certain things the Children's Authority can do and that there are certain things that they cannot do. Hence the problem. Next slide. Alright, next slide. What is abuse? How do you define abuse? Abuse is mental, emotional, physical, or sexual injury to a child or failure to prevent such injury to a child. Are you all looking at the words? Mental, emotional, physical, sexual. Any behavior directed towards a child that endangers that child or impairs that child's physical and emotional health and development. So anything that you do that falls within that bracket, it should be defined, or it is defined as abuse. However, the World Health Organization, they coined a definition for child abuse, and it encompassed all this and all what Red was praying about. Yeah? Child abuse or maltreatment constitutes all forms of physical, emotional ill-treatment, sexual abuse, neglect, or negligent treatment, commercial or other exploitation resulting in actual or potential harm to the child's health, their survival, their development, their dignity in the context of a relationship of responsibility, trust, of power. Parents, guardians, the church, the school, the community, the country by extension. You are in the position of trust of power. That is your role and function. And you are supposed to safeguard the babies from all those things. And there are many things that we as parents do that's not in the best interest of any child. Yeah? So here are the different types of child abuse. We'll be talking to physical, sexual neglect thereabout. I will stay a lot on child sexual abuse because for the past couple months it has been in the news. Yeah? So physical, sexual, emotional, child labor, and neglect. These are the different types of child abuse. Next slide. Physical abuse. Any act that results in a non-accidental trauma or physical injury. Inflicted physical injury most often represent unreasonable, severe corporal punishment or unjustifiable punishment. Don't shoot me, please. I said, go back. Unreasonable. You hear the word unreasonable, right? So, if your child screams at you and you hit her a slap in her face, is that reasonable or unreasonable? I ain't hearing all you. If your child is very hungry, you haven't provided a meal for that kid, and that kid decides to take some milk and sugar. You know, we used to do that back in the day. And when you come home, you see something wrong. Milk missing and sugar missing. And you took this child's hands and put it on a hot stove. Reasonable or unreasonable? Yeah, you know that one, right? But you don't know the one with the face empty. Yeah? To me, hitting my child in the face is unreasonable. I don't care what you say. I'm not hitting my child in any face. I don't want to disfigure my child. I told you yes. And it could affect some of the child's senses. Yeah? They provide us with a lot of belts. They provide us with a lot of sticks out there. Yeah? So you could use those things. But when you use your hands, that's unreasonable. And we have to draw a line between abuse and discipline. Everybody have a way and means of disciplining children, yeah? There are specific ways and means. But some parents go overboard. Make it worse when daddy ain't bring the money. Have mercy. Child, you gain the brunt of that. So they hitting you with verbal, they hitting you with physical, and other things. Just because parents are having problems with each other, they pass it on to children. We have to be mindful of those things. Or you talk to your child. You don't shout. You should never raise your voice. Cool and calm. And the child's supposed to get the picture. One look. Back in the day, you in church and misbehaving, and from the time your mommy swing and look at you, man, you have to straighten up. Some people say those things don't work with the kids up today. Yeah, they do work if you start from morning. So if you start from scratch, yeah? So you read. If you are supposed to be sitting quietly next to mommy, listening to the pastor, and you're doing your own thing, and mommy never corrected you when you were months to 1 year going up. When you're 5 years, mommy cannot expect you to sit down and listen to any pastor because it was not instilled in you in the first place. Good? So you need to sit and listen. Right? You remember this riot? Good. You know that you're my boyfriend, right? I told mommy I had to marry you. Anyway. Okay, so that's physical abuse, right? Next. Abuse versus discipline. We talked about that. What is neglect? Neglect includes failure to provide a child failure to provide a child with food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and leaving your child in any situation that will cause harm to them. Failure to provide the child basic needs. The UN Convention stated that the UN Convention stated in their list of priorities or articles, the child has a right to education, to health, to food, yeah, and many other things, to security and protection. So if you as a parent has decided to abscond from your duties, you will be classed under this, and the Children Act treats to that. Cruelty to children. That is the first section of the Act. People, you guys need to know those things. Do not withhold food from a child just because they're behaving bad. Alright, go in your bed, no dinner. What you doing? That's neglect. Never withhold those things. Teachers, they don't send the kids to the washroom. Madness. Just because that child is behaving, stay there. You're not going to any washroom. You will get yourself in trouble for that, teachers, as well as the parents. Next. Neglect is a pattern of failing to provide your child with basic needs to the extent that the child's physical and psychological well-being is damaged or endangered. Parents and caregivers are simply choosing not to do their job. Parents, it is your job to provide for your children. It is your job to take care of them. Do not leave their siblings to raise them. I know sometimes you might have to run off to work and you're holding down free jobs like me. You understand what I'm saying? And you might have to leave big sister in charge, but don't take it for a habit. Don't go out there having kids and taking it for a habit to leave these children in their care. They are not adults. They are children. They are teenagers. They are young people. That's not their role and function. They need to go to school and get an education and come back and make a better life for them and for you. So don't put them in that scheme of life before. Don't put them there. And my problem with parents is when they have these kids performing adult role and the kids start to behave like adults, then we got a problem. And they say all kinds of things about the children. But you started it because you have them doing your work. So caregivers and adults, you need to do your work. Next. Press again. Yeah. Alright. Sexual abusive behavior. So we dealt with neglect, physical. Now, sexual abusive behaviors. Voyeurism. You know what that is? You know what a voyeur is? We call them in local parlance a peeping Tom. So you in your bedroom and you see somebody's face showed up on your glass. You're bathing and you see a mirror showed up on top of the bathroom. Your stepdaddy put it there to look at you. I had that case in my school once. That's what, anytime she goes to the bathroom, here goes the mirror. A stepfather. So voyeurism is the person, or is the act of looking at someone in a sexual manner. So that person is not clothed, and you are looking at them. Yeah? fondling. Plenty fondlers, especially on the maxis and the cars when the kids are traveling. People, safeguard your children. You know when you sit in these taxis, how close you get to one another. Some of those men love to touch the children's laps and move their hand like they're doing, like they're scratching their body, but truth and in fact, they are touching your children's breast. People, you need to put your kids to sit down and tell them what to look out for when they are traveling. I have heard some stories. You in a maxi and somebody just whoop out their private parts and start to masturbate in front of you. So your child will never travel in their life, traveling for the first time and see that. That is psychological trauma to the utmost. You need to safeguard your babies. The onus is on you. Child prostitution, we know that. Some parents like to pimp out their children, sell their children, just because the man bringing in all the money. And he clothing and he putting food on the table, so you sell your 15-year-old. Parents are talking to all you, It's children's. The children lives are at stake. Child pornography, big thing in Trinidad, you know that? With all this media hype, always filming somebody and posting it on the Facebook. Always. Yes. It's not Facebook again. We passed that stage a long time. It is the Facebook. Something hit, the Facebook is born for good. You see a million hits. Something of a negative nature, Positive don't move so quick. Prostitution. Well, we know about intercourse. Sodomy, you know what is that? I have too much children in my audience to be so graphic. Yeah? Oral genital stimulation. Parents, you all know what is that? I won't go there. Verbal stimulation. Yes, I could go there for the children because these men always dropping some lovely words on those children. Yeah? You sweet like an apple. Always dropping something. Yeah? So they tell them, and the kids don't hear those things home, because mommy might not be calling you baby and hot thing and, oh, you're looking so cute today. Mommy don't tell you those things. So a man gonna tell you that, and you feel so good. Because that is how developmentally, that is how your body is. You're supposed to react those kinds of ways to those types of soothing words. But if your mommy always tells you those kinds of things, you have no reason. A man can enhance that. Nah, mommy and daddy does that for themselves, by themselves, and I react to that. Okay? So parents, you have to know how to treat your children, how to support them. The words that you tell them. Don't always tell them they are good for nothing. Give them plenty love, plenty love. My child is 18 and she still wants to be running me down to touch my private parts. She's 18. Yeah? How can I done with she? Oh, well, don't talk about the kisses. And she's 18, especially she's a 5-year-old. So I run around the house and she running me down to give me a kiss. Because she knows she will see me when I return. You know what I'm saying? So we need to do those things. Because they are, hug them up, love them up. Because if you don't do it, somebody waiting out there to do it. Man or woman. And exhibitionism. Oh Lord, that's why you talk about it. These are the flashers. You all know the flashers? They love to expose. So I saw somebody put one of them on blast last week on the Facebook. I don't know if you all follow the Facebook like I do, but I do follow it. And he was flashing by a school in Tunapuna. You all not following what's going on in your country? It's not easy. You all need to take note, especially young people. You need to take note of what is going on. And it's a young person doing that, and he's packed by a girl's school in Tunapuna. Exposed. Yeah? and see your neighbor exposed but alone. That's exhibitionism. The children up to 2012. Yes, let us treat with that. In the act, there are some terms that you should be acquainted with in order to understand what I'm going to tell you in a while. So a child is anyone under 18. I don't want you to know it changed, right? When the act came into being, when it was assented to May 15, 2015, it changed from 16 to 18. However, some specification in that act still treats to 12 and 16 years. So for sexual touching, it goes to 12. 16. Sexual grooming, I'll explain what that is. It goes to 16. So not everything goes to 18. But under Trinidad and Tobago's law, you are a child until you cross 18. So when you're 15 and you're running down a 23-year-old taxi driver, you're not an adult. You are a kid. And this taxi driver could be taken to task if he is reported. Yeah, arrested and have a case against him for statutory rape because the young lady is 15. It was vice versa, yeah? Don't think we getting away. If we're running down the 16-year-old, we ain't getting away either. Child pornography, any felon, media that picks up any act that is done by a child for sexual gratification. That means when you look at it, as a man or a woman, you get the urges or you get turned on, it is child pornography. So the gentleman that they found at the back of some lovely Caroni sugar estate parts with the 14 and the 9-year-old, and after when they checked his phone, he had lovely pictures of the 9-year-old in her birthday suit. That is child pornography. So not only he has the case of having them in the vehicle naked with alcohol, he also has that charge added to it. Now we have the next problem. We facilitate the movement of child pornography. You know what I mean by facilitate? We partake and we entertain it. You know what we do? Somebody will send it for us. And we won't delete it, you know. We will call our brethren and say, hey, I have this picture of such and such, you want to see it or what? And you keep on passing it and you keep on sharing it. You are worse than the person who actually filmed this act. So you will get double of the law on your acts because you are facilitating the movement. You did not report it. You didn't call up the police and say, I have something on my phone that somebody now sent to me. You didn't do that, did you? You keep on sharing it. So you are more at fault than the person who did it themselves. Bodily orifice. Bodily orifice is the part that every living part on your body, I will say it simple, that has a hole. Your mouth, your nose, your ear, the back, and the front. Yes? That is bodily orifice. So any part of your body that something could be inserted into, that's bodily orifice. Are you understand me? Nice. Touching any part of your body or anything that you take to connect with another individual is to touching. So if smart man dark hair takes his Bible in a Jesus, not the Bible, takes this timbrel here and passes it in a sexual way on a young girl, that's touching. Yes? You get me? What when you wake up? A bacchanal traditional Trinidadian vent. Anyway, penetration, you know what it is? Insertion of. And grooming. Let me tell you about that one. Oh, we have a lot of groomers in our society, in our homes, in the church. Plenty groomers. You know what they do? They set up your kids to have relations with them further down the road. So they're grooming them up. They're setting them up for the kill later on. So they will bring clothes. But I think going too expensive. They might bring some doubles. Hey, you know, I pass in the corner, I get some doubles. They bring some doubles for the child. They go on like this Wendy in the cafeteria and they see this Wendy have the best sweet bread in Trinidad and Tobago. Woo, they buy one, they bring it for the child. They go on to the States, they come back. Oh, they shop till they drop. And they shopping till they drop with the child at the back of their head. So all the outfits, the bra, the panties they buy, they are visualizing the kid in that mode. They bring it. Yeah? You're setting up the children to have relationships with them. Parents, you have to be mindful of those things. Look at the men in your lives. Look at these men in your lives. And look at their intention. Look at how they are angling their focus. That is very important. A lot of them, they ain't there for you, they're there for your children. And we have countless examples in our society where children were abused sexually by their parents' husbands or their parents' boyfriends. Not only boyfriends and husbands, but siblings. I have a case right now I'm treating with sibling. 17, the child is 11. Have mercy. And that has been going on since she was 8 years old. She told everybody. Nobody believed in the child. Nobody taking note. Nobody doing anything. So you know when the police come in, you go pick up everybody. Because you were given the information and you did not act on it. People, those things are in your faces. And you are worse than the perpetrators. When you fail to do what is right for the children. What are you telling me? It's time to be over. Alright, so I'm going to break it down for you. But I need you, if you're interested in the welfare of children in Trinidad and Tobago, or those entrusted under your care, I need you to Google the Children Act of 2012. Act 12 of 2012. It is an 81-page document. You could save it on your system. You could get somebody to print it out for you. Only 81 pages. That can be 40-something pages, 40 pages. Yeah? And read it. So you will be aware of what is put in place for children in this country. And you could assist in helping these children have a better life because too many things are going on. So this is part 2, section 4. Part 2 of this act is prevention of cruelty against children. And it states, I'll read to you, when a person who has the responsibility, you heard the word? A person who has the responsibility. They say parent guardian, eh? Did they say that? Did you hear me say parent or guardian? No. Persons in the position of trust. So when you guys have the responsibility and you willfully, hear the words correctly, you willfully assault, ill-treat, neglect, abandon or exposes the child or causes or procures the child to be assaulted, ill-treated, neglected, abandoned, or opposed in a manner likely to cause the child suffering and injury to his physical, mental, emotional health. in bed or any other place, and the person proved that the death was not caused by disease or any medical cause. So we have two sections here. We have those treating with the infants, and we have those where the person placed to be responsible over that kid willfully ill-treats and neglects and abandons them. People. The person was at the time under the influence of any alcohol or substances, and it resulted in the death of a child. They have committed the offense of cruelty. You need to take note of those things. So when my partner and his wife, the Jamaican lady, they were beating this child to drink milk, that is cruelty to the highest degree. And I wish when he went to the jail, they did him the same thing. Next. So that is cruelty. Under the Act, we have offenses in relation. Some people don't like that one, begging. You all know that is against the law of Trinidad and Tobago, to have your child walking all over the place asking for things. The children's authority has to give you permission to have these raffles and these sales and those things. You all know that? The children's authority, you have to write to them, tell them what your institution is organizing, and they will give you permission to go ahead. You are not supposed to give any child any piece of paper to go anywhere and get any money for any institution. You all need to learn those things because it's there. Alright? So we have section 5. I'm still on part 2. Section 5, which is begging, the risk of burning. Anytime any child's bodily orifice has to get in contact with anything that will burn that child or scald that child willfully, that's for you. So all those parents who like to put their children hand over stove and take cigarettes butt and burn them with it, that's for you. And also section 7, injury to death by firearm or ammunition. So if you have any firearm or ammunition in your possession and you are not responsible enough to put it away or secure it, and something happens to that child, you will be held accountable. I did not say, people, the laws of Trinidad and Tobago have it in black and white. So you have to know your laws. Alright? Make it your duty. Giving, selling, lending, or renting a firearm or ammunition to a child. So only 15 and 16 and 17-year-olds that are around the place with guns, their guardians or persons who are responsible for them will be taken to task for that. You remember there is a case going on, oh no, I think it's from Dago, when the two little ones, one shot the other with the dad's trap gun or some hunting gun. Yeah. He has to be taken to task for that because he did not secure his weapon. You know you have kids in the house, you need to put your things away. Next. Oh, you turn already? Abuse of children through prostitution. Section 11, allowing children in brothel. You know what's a brothel? A house. Well, nowadays they call them, what do they call them? Oh my God, they have some names for them. Beautiful. Mr. O'Brien, I watch it here. Membership clubs. Yes, that's the name. All over the joint has them. You pass, coming down that stretch on the main road, have mercy. They are prophets. And when you check inside of them, they have kids working inside of them. And a lot of those establishments are run by high-ranking persons whose connection goes to the top and below our pay grade. Yeah? Causing or encouraging the seduction, prostituting, or sexual penetration of a child. Paying for sexual services of a child. Causing or initiating prostitution. People controlling a child prostitute. What's wrong with you? Go and manage your job. You want to manage children. And have people coming inside of your house for your 15-year-old. You are controlling a child prostitute. You might think, no, yes it is. It's right there. Section 16, arranging or facilitating child prostitution. So you organize in your house, and you're telling them when to come, and when they come, you go by the bar and drink 2 rum. You say, alright, I'll give you an hour, and then you're coming back and collect money. People, that is causing, facilitating or initiating child prostitution. Under Part 6 of this Act, they have put in, it wasn't there before, they have put in a range of other sexual offenses. We are accustomed with Section 18, penetration. Section 19, sexual touching. I gave you a little role play right there, so you understand that. Causing a child to engage in sexual activity. Section 22, causing a child to engage with sexual activity with an animal. Don't turn up your face, eh? Those things go down. Yeah? Bestiality, we know it as. And Section 23, engaging in sexual activity in the presence of a child. Let me stay there a little. You living in a 1-bedroom house, and you getting your groove on top of the bed, and your children in the mattress under the bed. Somebody know that's going down, they will call the authorities for you. Right? Engaging in sexual activity in the presence of a child. When you are engaging in such behaviors, your children should not be present at no time. Section 24, causing a child to watch a sexual act. All those lovely daddies, I want to show you what manhood is all about. And they say, come and sit down here. And they put on pornographic material for those children to watch. And when Johnny goes to school, what do you expect Johnny to do? Johnny's going to get a boy or a girl to do that act too, because you started him. Yeah? So when you think our kids are so sexually advanced, they're faster than us. It have things they know, and they're not starting to know about them. Half of them. The actress to all the individuals who love to facilitate those kinds of things. 3 components of child abuse audio. Look at on the board. Child plus the caregiver. What is the word there? No. After caregiver is what? Stress. All forms and fashion of stress. And we pass that stress on our children, and it equates to child abuse. All forms and fashion of what we are going through, and we cannot deal with it. We pass it on to our children and allow them to get the brunt of it. And that is not good, because you are entrusted with the care of these children. Why are you causing these children pain? Why? Just because they can't fight back? Just because they can't do anything to help themselves? just because they're vulnerable. Come on, mama. The onus is on you, adults or caregivers, to safeguard these little people. No matter how big she is, she looks bigger than me. She's maybe 14 or 15. It doesn't matter the size of the kid. It doesn't matter how hot the mouth is. She is under the laws of this country. This child is her as a child. I am on the home stretch, so don't you all will be on your way to get your macaroni pies just now. Risk factors. We put our child at risk. Parents, you put your children at risk. I'm going to read out some for you. Personal history. So you were abused, you give up. You allow it to happen to your child. You have, oh Lord, the teenage parents is the worst one. I mean, I've heard, when I go to meetings, you sit and you hear graphic stories, and when you investigate and find out more, it's young parents. They have 3 and 4 kids. They can't take care of them. So the kids are left to suffer. They're living by this one, they're living by that one, they have them all over the place. And these children are being molested. They're in and they're out. Why? Because young people, young girls, you did not keep your tail in your leg, and you bring that child on the planet to see misery. That's how I see it. You bring that child on the planet to see misery, because you don't have a support system to help you. You don't have a grandmother like me. I will babysit for you, I will drag that child all over the place. You don't have that opportunity. So the children that are born of you are left to see a lot of hell because of your mistake. Single parents. Well, I don't give the single parents much licks, you know. But I always say they still have the duty to perform. No matter you holding down how many jobs, you got your duty to perform. Because at the end of this line here, it is parent. Alright? Emotional immaturity, poor coping skills, your self-esteem is low, history of substance abuse, lack of social support. Ooh, the big one, domestic violence. Daddy come home drunk like a fish. He beaten from mommy down to kid. Sometimes she have to hustle all you out of the bed and put all you, lock all you in a room and go outside and take her legs. That is what we live in Trinidad and Tobago. That is a big problem in this country. And not only men beating women, you know, I had a case where a child is injuring herself. You know what is self-injury? Young people, you cut yourself. Here, you pass it on your body and you feel a relief. Don't go there. Don't go there. Yes? And this child came to me because, well, her friends brought her because she's injuring herself. And when I spoke to this child, her mom is beating her dad. Her mom. So she said, when my mom starts to beat, my dad gets licks and my little brother gets the worst of it. Those things happen in our homes across this country. And you know who suffers the most? Who suffers the most? Oh, that's obvious. That is obvious. Unwanted pregnancies, denial of pregnancies. Yes, those men never want to take their children. Let us not even stand there and all they did. They never want to take the kids. When a child is supposed to be a joy, you know. A child is supposed to be a joy. When you get to know you're pregnant, you're supposed to be happy. And that joy is supposed to spread to the child inside of them. So when that child come out, that child will feel loved and protected. I'm not hearing mommy saying, your father didn't bring me money. And your father is a worthless old thing. Yeah, we know he worthless. Who cares? Do your duty. Forget him. He had to do what he had to do. Forget him. Do what you have to do to protect your children. Yeah? Multiple young children. Well, we know that one. Young girls having a lot of children can take care of them. Next slide. I think that's about it. Parents, what are we doing to safeguard our children? Are you reading my question? I said, what are you doing? The church, what are you doing? What are you doing to help these children? Parents, what are you doing? You're praying. Amen for that, sister. Continue to pray for them, because it is a sad situation out there. Some of us, we don't read the papers, we don't listen to news, we don't read anything. So we don't know the magnitude of this problem. But it is a big problem. And it is an old age problem. You know what I mean by old age? It's been there from inception. Long time. But because some of what I showed you before has been highlighted in the media, we're raising a little awareness to how the issue is. But if things don't come out in the media, we don't have a clue what's going on. Next slide. It shouldn't hurt to be a child. As I said, childhood time is supposed to be an enjoyable time. You're supposed to be happy. I mean, when you get to the teenage time, yeah, you fall out with your parents, all kinds of things. That is developmentally, it should be developmentally friendly, I say. So you're supposed to fall out with them because remember, you've got your opinions and they got theirs. But you're not being disrespectful or rude. Yeah? You should be extremely happy at this time. Get your education, make a life for yourself. Leave them alone. I have some numbers there, and they are put there so you could know who to call, what to do. I have given you part of the act that governs issues with children in this country. That is just part. I mean, I told you it's an 81-page document, so you know it's enough information there. But in keeping with the mission of the day, which is protecting our children and how parents should step in to protect our children, it was just fitting that I inform of this country in relation to this situation. So parents, I will say again, the onus is on you. Do whatever in your power to help safeguard your children. And it doesn't have to be your children, you know. It could be the neighbor's children. It could be the child of your friend, or even the child of an enemy. Look out for them. No matter what problems you have with their family members or whatever, look out for them. Yes? Yes. So, I hope today was, or the information that you acquired will go a very long way. I told Miss Charmaine if she wants I could come in to do a workshop for free. Doc, you heard? For free. Alright? And I could bring in, because I work with a team, I could bring in 2 or 3 of my pips to help out. Whichever one you all choose to do. So Miss Charmaine is my girl. She's my work.
amen. A lot of information for us to take into, and I hope that all the information was very important. Every one of us here, and I hope that your day was well spent in the Santa Cruz Church of the Nazarene. So let us give a round of applause. And we have a baby dedication to Sister Royette Williams James. We just want to thank you for coming and gracious with your presence with all this information that have been spread here today, and I hope that everyone will really take it to heart, into their homes, and take it into the community where it is well needed and it will be received. So thank you again. And we have a baby dedication this morning, so we'd just like to call our senior pastor and the